Good morning, everyone. How are you? Well, I think I'm just aware that so many people are panicking and in support of mental stability. And, I do this work all the time and I help people every single day of my life, or I hope I'm helping people every single day of my life. And I'm very acutely aware on a daily basis and have been for the past 2 decades of my life or more that our mental resilience is really the only surefire proof or pathway out of our daily struggles of life. So I'm seeing that even more now. I thought that people wouldn't be booking sessions, but they are. That people wouldn't be joining my free Facebook community, that the link is up above, where I'm teaching the skills in my next book. I didn't think the response would be so expansive, so immediate, so vociferous. And it's just making me sit back with the palpable awareness that mental health is truly our superpower. And at times like this, it flounders, and I understand. And I'm so honored and humbled and privileged that I can be of service. But so can each one of you. Each one of us can be of service. So I pass it on to you, you pass it on to someone else. And this is how we are going to spread virally the contagion of mental health and abundance. So this is what we can do in this time, right? So when the external world seems to be crumbling, the most beautiful thing about that is that it should crumble, it needed to crumble, because this is how inner resilience gets tested, challenged, fostered, created. This is how it all starts to work. So in cultures like India, for example, where inner health and inner fortitude has been the source of all mystical teachings, part of that practice is that when one reaches a certain age in life, around 60, I think, there is a tradition where people actually leave the external world to go pursue inner fortitude. They actually physically leave the physical world to go become a hermit or to go become a wanderer in quest for inner strength. So this happening in a forced way is actually such a conduit, such a portal. I've been seeing it as such from the start, but even more so today, I think. Such a conduit, such a portal, such a doorway to force you to go inside. Obviously, our world was heading in pretty much a trajectory that was taking us more into distraction, more into consumerism, more into disconnection. This was palpable. I mean, this is why, I'm sorry to show my book as if I'm selling my book, but this is why publishers approached me to write this book, to help kids with anxiety. So 2 years ago, I wrote this book, and this is what I'm offering on my Facebook page. The link is up above. Because publishers knew that kids are in trouble. I, as a therapist, knew kids are in trouble. I knew that adults are in trouble because we were severely mired in the age of anxiety. So this has been palpable from the start. So what we're seeing now is just the offshoot of the age of anxiety that really began from the onset of social media, which really began even before that, right? So everything has been plummeting in a domino effect, cause and effect, cause and effect from decades. And here we are now, fully a witness to our mental health. Where are we as a species in terms of our mental fortitude? And we're beginning to see that if we did not develop skills all this time, if we hadn't been meditating all this time, if we hadn't been taking care of our bodies all this time, if we hadn't developed deep meaning all this time in our lives, deep purpose, deep connection, then at these moments, we begin to crack. So if you are feeling like you are cracking, this is not the time to despair. This is the time to have wisdom, to understand, I haven't been living connected inside. I haven't been turning inside, looking at myself as solace, as fortitude, as governance, as creativity. I haven't been turning inward. I have been so consumed by the outside world, wondering when my next paycheck would be, caring about the wrinkles on my face, caring about how I look or how young I should look, or about my relationship, about my children. I haven't developed inner strength. And this is the time to now say, okay, this is my opportunity to take a self-help course, to learn about who I am. This is my breathing space, my pause, where I can finally learn about me and acquaint myself with me. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable for many people because, again, we've been distracted. We've been going on vacations. Yeah, that's a distraction in a way because it takes us out of our regular life. We've been watching TV too much. We've been on social media too much. And all of this has been a distraction to take us away from who it is we are. And now all those band-aids are being torn off and we're now seeing the wounds within, and the scabs haven't yet formed yet. So our wounds are bleeding, and it's a sign that we have neglected our inner health. So this is not about your children. This is not about how you look. This is not about your paycheck. Now it's a window to become acquainted with yourself. This window is particular. Before, we had other windows. We had the window to go to college. We had the window to exercise. We had the window to earn money and climb the corporate ladder or whatever. But this window is calling for something else. So attunement, which I teach in parenting, how do you attune with the child, right? Attunement is perhaps the most powerful skill in life. It's paying attention to what's happening right now in front of you, not what you wanted it to be, not what you thought it could be, not what you wished it would be, but what is happening right now. And recognizing the moment you are in right now without wishing, wanting, depending, craving, longing, desiring, tantruming. What is happening right now? Right now, for some reason, what's happening is a forced quarantine. Do you know how beautiful that is? So I mentioned yesterday that I go for Vipassana meditation. That's my preferred way of going within. And I'm actually leading a meditation in 10 minutes at the Facebook page, link up above in my copy. So if you want to come and learn more about how to meditate and do it globally with a community of almost 7,000 people now, come and join me at that Facebook page. The link is somewhere up above, down below. So in meditation, they force you to not speak. They force you to meditate for 14 hours a day. They force you to be in a room and be in silence. Now, of course, you voluntarily go there to be forced. So how wonderful that we are being forced. The only problem here is that it doesn't feel like it's voluntary. It feels like it was taken away from you. But you know, sometimes when children and grown-ups who are children really masquerading as grown-ups, when we are off course, then almost it's as if the forces outside of us through cause and effect force us to now enter a forced quarantine because we weren't doing it on our own. How many of us voluntarily go lock ourselves up in a meditation retreat? Very few of us, yes? We don't have the self-discipline. So in a way, this is forced self-discipline. It's forced. The way I look at it in my personal life is now it's forcing me to show up on this page and teach. It's forcing me to go on my other Facebook page, which I was talking about, and teach and show up and realize that now it's my time to give back for all the blessings I've received. And you can do the same. How are you blessed? Now give back. And the best way to give back really is to Go within and develop your consciousness. The reason we have wars, the reason we have shitty, crappy, divorces, the reason we fight, the reason we neglect our loved ones, the reasons we cannot attune with our children, the reason why we cannot get along with our neighbor who follows a different God is not because of anything on the outside, not because of them and her and him. It's because our consciousness is not raised. So this is the time to not pray. You can pray. To not cry, to not tantrum. It is to raise our consciousness. And consciousness can only be raised when we learn to go within. So I say not to pray, not because prayer is not hugely beneficial for many, but prayer takes us out of ourselves. You're praying to someone out there, for something out there. This is not the task of inner meditation. Inner meditation, to raise consciousness, is to learn about who it is you are by watching yourself. So if you want to learn meditation and start your path, come join me on my Facebook group. The link is being posted and it's up above, and I'm leading a meditation in 8 minutes, and I will be leading a meditation every single day for as long as I can in this community. So this is our time to raise consciousness. The reason we have reached where we are, the reason why our children suffer, the reason why we are obese, diseased, ill, disconnected, disgruntled, upset, angry, tantruming, and in resistance to what's happening right now is only because our consciousness has not been primed, because we've never forced ourselves to confront who it is we are in silence. So this is our time, the universe's way, if you wish, but the universe is nothing but us represented through cause and effect on the outside. This is the universe's way to say, okay, children, now sit in your home. You cannot go to the movies. You cannot buy anything. Even Amazon has shut its doors down, which is the best thing ever. You cannot get on a plane and escape. You cannot hide in distraction at the bar and at the restaurant. You cannot eat too much. You need to go within and discover who it is you are. And the pathway to do that, I'm afraid, is only one. It's through meditation. So this is where the rubber meets the road. Meditation can no longer be an idea that the privileged do, the stay-at-home moms do. No, now everyone's a stay-at-home parent, a stay-at-home adult. So everyone now needs to discover what many know to be the most powerful tool in the world, which is meditation. Meditation is your only salve in mental health. It is your only balm for distress. It is your only cure for anxiety. At the end of the day, it's you learning to take charge of your most powerful destructor and ally, which is your mind. But to do that, you need to learn your mind. You need to learn about your mind. And the way to do that is to meditate. So go to the Facebook link up above. Join me. I'm going to start in 6 minutes. This is the most powerful opportunity in my lifetime. You know, every time we fall sick, or I fall sick, or I get upset with someone, or I'm going through a powerful change in the outside world, say I lose a job, or something happens in the outside world, or I get a sickness, which is something from the outside world sometimes, I pause, because I know that in order to alchemize this moment, I need to go within, and I need to transform what's happening to me to take me to a better place. I refuse in my life, the declaration I make in my life is that I refuse to come out of even a cold the same person. I refuse to come out of any experience the same. I mandate myself that I will alchemize my experience. And to alchemize an experience is to convert it, elevate it, transform it into gold. Not that gold is something amazing, but just what that means is to transform it into something bejeweled. And this is my mandate and how I've lived my life. I refuse to let something stay in the gutter. I must polish it, I must hone it, and I must elevate it to a transformed, renewed new me. And not that the old is bad, but I must learn from this. I must grow from this, because growth to me is the human potential, is why we're here, is to grow from inside. So this experience is our forced laboratory for growth, for exponential spiritual change and transformation. So I challenge you to please not come out of this quarantine absolutely the same person. Something has to transform in you, either physically, emotionally, spiritually, parentally, relationally, altruistically. But it all really goes down to your consciousness. If our global consciousness changes through this experience to make us realize that we are one, that we are entwined inextricably, ubiquitously interdependent. If we get this one lesson, then do you realize, yes, it may be the end of separate religions, but it will be the beginning of true unification and the end of religious warfare, the end of global terrorism, the end of violence on the earth. Because now, for the first time, we will be forced to see that we can't F around anymore. My God, your God, me versus the earth. I am better than you. No more. This has equalized us all, you see. This is what this has done, I hope. It has democratized us all to realize we are on one playing field. There is nobody who will not be affected by this. We are all affected. And for the first time, we are seeing globally that we are interdependent. And if we don't get this lesson and then tangibly translate it into real life, meaning when you go into your synagogue and I go into my mosque and you go into your temple, you realize the ignorance of that. And you realize that we need to come together. And I say that not because you are at war, but because many a war has been fought in the name of God. And that needs to end now. And then when you plunder the earth and you care about your profits and you eat more meat and you don't realize the effect that that cow is having on the earth and how water is being used to feed cows that are dying in pain and suffering because you want to eat your steak. When you begin to realize the effects of your choices and the ignorance through which you have lived, it will take you to the portal where every spiritual practice wants to take us, which is we are one. We are interdependent. You are me and I am you. At the end of the day, even though I think you have caused me pain and that you have hurt me, I know that it's me being reflected back to me. And when we begin to live with this global awareness, this consciousness that we are one, you are me and I am you, there is no separation. And if this doesn't show us that there is no separation, your droplet from your mouth can go into my body and it may kill me, but how beautiful, because on the other hand, it will show me how one we are. I don't shun your droplet. I mean, I don't want to be in the face of it, but on a symbolic spiritual level, how profound that is as a teaching, that you and I are now breathing the same air. So as we separate in forced quarantine, let's elevate in consciousness to understand what this is teaching us. This is teaching us what the Buddha wanted to teach, what Jesus wanted to teach, what Muhammad wanted to teach, what every leader out there, Zarathustra, every spiritual leader out there wanted to teach us, to awaken that we are one. Now, from this moment on, let us not forget this in daily life. When we come out of this tunnel, come out different, with a different consciousness. Stop caring only about you, right? Understand that the humanity as one needs to heal. So the only way to heal at the end of the day is to heal the self. When you heal the self and heal your mind, all that is left is, how can I be of service? That's all that's left at the end of the day. And if every corporation realizes that service needs to be their mandate and they need to turn profit into service. So service 75%, profit 25%. And my life and your life needs to be service 75%, profit 25%. Now we have changed the entire needle of our future trajectory. We have changed the pendulum. And it's good that our children are not in college anymore. And it's good that our children are sitting at home, because now we are grateful for teachers and we will pay them more. And we will realize that this insanity of raising our children to go to college is an illusion. So sorry, the US College Board may not take my kid in now because I'm talking against them, but it has been an insanity that we need to get off. This entire gearing of childhood for college, guess what? Now there's no college. I love it. So now let the colleges revamp and reconfigure how we accept kids in, and let it not just be for the elite, and let it not just be for the competitive, but let it be democratized for us all, for all children with learning difficulties, with spatial time problems, with emotional issues, not just the rich and wealthy. So this is now the greatest wake-up call for us to go within. First, we need to heal ourselves. Nothing can be done now until we heal our consciousness and fully embed ourselves in the awareness that we are one. We are one, we are one, we are one. So tomorrow, when you come out of this, your business practice has to change. Your life practice has to change. Your parenting practice has to change. You need to stop caring about your beauty and your bank balance, and stop buying Botox, and stop caring about your butt, and stop caring about your cellulite. Yeah, stop buying products like that. Stop investing in the wrong things. Let's make a pledge to change how we live and spend our money. Now let's only spend it toward oneness, toward helping. Imagine if all the money we spent on our cosmetics was spent to go save somebody in a third world country, so to speak. Third world, so as a label. But okay, join me in my Facebook page. The link is up above. I'm going to go meditate right now. Thank you for listening. I know I went on a rant, so it is. Join me on my Facebook page. I will see you there. Come meditate with me now, now, now.